Sleep, circadian rhythms, and nighttime recovery. The silent engine of human energy. Sleep is often misunderstood as a passive state, a period of inactivity where nothing important happens. Yet biologically, sleep is one of the most dynamic and powerful processes the body performs. It is during sleep that the brain restores itself. Hormones rebalance, tissues repair, the immune system strengthens, and the energy systems of the body reset. No supplement, superfood, or motivational routine can replace what sleep accomplishes naturally. Modern culture glorifies productivity and constant activity, but the body does not reward non-stop motion. It crashes under it. Fatigue, mood, instability, sugar cravings, slow metabolism, inflammation, and hormonal imbalance often stem not from a lack of effort, but from a lack of recovery. Sleep is not the opposite of productivity. It is the foundation of it. When sleep is compromised, every system of the body compensates, and none of those compensations are in our favor. The foundation of restorative sleep is the circadian rhythm, the internal 24-hour clock that governs nearly every biological function, from hormone release and metabolism to digestion, body temperature, and cognitive performance. This rhythm evolved from millions of years of exposure to sunlight during the day and darkness at night. Yet modern life has disrupted this natural timing in profound ways. Artificial light, late-night screen exposure, shift work, irregular meal timing, and constant stimulation send confusing signals to the brain about when to be awake and when to rest. The body cannot thrive when its internal clock is out of sync. Just as a symphony collapses when instruments play at the wrong time, the body struggles when biological processes no longer operate in harmony. Circadian misalignment has been linked to obesity, diabetes, cardiovascular disease, depression, impaired immunity, and reduced lifespan, because sleep is optional. But because timing is biology, melatonin is one of the most important hormones involved in circadian regulation. Often called the sleep hormone, melatonin is actually a darkness hormone. It rises when light decreases, signaling to the brain that it is time to prepare for rest. Blue light from screens suppresses melatonin production, delaying sleep onset and reducing sleep depth. Even small amounts of artificial light at night, such as from streetlights, phone notifications, or a television left running, can disrupt melatonin release. This matters because melatonin is not only involved in sleep, it is one of the body's most powerful antioxidants, protecting cells from oxidative stress and supporting immune function. When melatonin is suppressed night after night, the body ages faster, inflammation increases, and energy production declines. Turning down lights in the evening, dimming screens, and embracing darkness are not lifestyle trends, they are forms of biological alignment. Cortisol, the hormone commonly associated with stress, follows the opposite pattern of melatonin. In a healthy rhythm, cortisol rises in the morning to help wake the body, increase alertness, and mobilize energy. It then gradually declines throughout the day, reaching its lowest levels at night to allow melatonin to rise. But chronic stress, inconsistent sleep schedules, frequent caffeine intake, and emotional overload disrupt this pattern. When cortisol remains elevated late into the evening, the nervous system stays alert even when exhaustion is present. People in this state often describe lying in bed, while the mind races, or waking up at 2 or 3 a.m., unable to fall back asleep. This is not a lack of discipline, it is a biological conflict. The body cannot rest when it believes, it must remain alert for survival. Restoring the cortisol-melatonin rhythm requires not only good sleep habits, but daytime regulation of stress, sunlight exposure in the morning, and predictable routines that help the nervous system feel safe. Sleep is composed of multiple stages, each serving a unique biological purpose. Light sleep transitions the brain into a slower rhythm, preparing it for deeper states. Deep sleep is when physical repair occurs, muscle fibers rebuild, immune cells activate, growth hormone is released, and the body clears metabolic waste. Rapid eye movement, or REM sleep, is when emotional processing and memory consolidation take place. Dreams are not random, they are part of neurological housekeeping. When sleep is shortened, fragmented, or delayed, The brain is forced to choose which processes to prioritize, and something is always sacrificed. Chronic lack of deep sleep can weaken immunity and slow physical recovery, while insufficient REM sleep affects emotional regulation, creativity, and cognitive function. People may wake feeling exhausted even after spending enough hours in bed, not because of sleep quantity, but because of sleep quality. Diet and eating timing also influence sleep more than most people realize. The digestive system follows its own circadian rhythm and functions best during daylight hours. Eating large meals late at night forces the body to digest when it should be repairing, increasing nighttime heart rate, reducing sleep depth, and impairing glucose regulation the following day. Blood sugar instability can cause nighttime waking, especially around the early morning hours when cortisol naturally begins to rise. Alcohol, often used as a sleep aid, disrupts REM sleep and increases nighttime awakenings, leading to lighter, less restorative rest. Caffeine, even consumed 6 to 8 hours before bed, can delay sleep onset by blocking adenosine, a neurotransmitter that signals sleep pressure. The body keeps score even when the mind is unaware. Temperature plays a critical role in sleep initiation. The brain begins to release melatonin when body temperature starts to drop in the evening. If the sleeping environment is too warm, the body struggles to enter deep sleep. Cooling the bedroom, taking a warm shower before bed to trigger post-cooling, and allowing airflow can dramatically improve sleep quality without changing any other behavior. Sleep is not just a mental experience, it is a full-body physiological process that depends on specific environmental cues. The immune system also relies heavily on sleep. During deep rest, immune cells identify and repair damaged tissue, respond to infection, and regulate inflammation. When sleep is restricted, immune function drops, inflammatory markers rise, and the body becomes more susceptible to illness. This is why people often get sick after prolonged stress or late-night work sleep. Debt suppresses the body's defenses. Short sleep duration has been linked to increased risk of autoimmune disorders, cardiovascular disease, and metabolic dysfunction. The body cannot heal without recovery. No matter how well it is fed or exercised, cognitive performance is directly tied to sleep as well. The brain processes vast amounts of information every day, and during sleep, it reorganizes memories, clears waste proteins through the glymphatic system, and resets neurotransmitter balance. Without sufficient sleep, the brain accumulates metabolic byproducts that impair clarity, decision-making, reaction time, and emotional stability. Chronic sleep deprivation can mimic symptoms of anxiety, depression, and ADHD not because of psychological causes, but because the brain is operating without maintenance. People often try to fix cognitive symptoms with stimulation caffeine, energy drinks, constant activity when the real solution is rest. One of the greatest misconceptions is that individuals can adapt to sleeping less. While people may feel accustomed to chronic sleep restriction, performance continues to decline, even when self-perception stabilizes. Studies show that reaction time, memory, mood, and immune function worsen with each night of reduced sleep. Yet individuals often report feeling unaffected. The brain becomes unaware of its own impairment. This silent decline is why prioritizing sleep is not optional for anyone seeking long-term health. Rebuilding healthy sleep patterns does not require perfection, it requires consistency. Waking up at the same time every day anchors the circadian rhythm more effectively than any nighttime habit. Morning sunlight, even for 10 to 15 minutes, signals the brain to begin its daily hormonal cycle and increases nighttime melatonin release. Reducing screen exposure 1 to 2 hours before bed, dimming lights in the evening, maintaining a cool sleeping environment, and avoiding large late meals support natural sleep onset. Creating a pre-sleep routine such as stretching, reading, slow breathing, or gentle reflection tells the nervous system that the day is ending. The body responds to rhythm far more than intensity. Sleep is not a sign of weakness, laziness, or lack of ambition. It is the most essential biological strategy for energy, mental clarity, emotional balance, and longevity. The human body is not designed to run on constant stimulation. It is designed to alternate between activation and restoration. When we honor this rhythm, energy becomes sustainable, not forced. The mind becomes clear without effort. The body recovers without struggle. Sleep is not the absence of life, it is what allows life to function.